Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that's quite serious. Allow me to quote some scary numbers. Every 43 seconds, someone takes their own life. Before this minute is over, 4 men somewhere in the world would have tried to do the same. They're not weak. They're not crazy. They are not cowards. They are hurting. These are fathers who cannot provide. These are sons who don't know how to cry. These are brothers drowning in silence. Friends smiling through the pain. Tonight on the People's Court, we confront what society has long refused to face: the mental health crisis quietly destroying the lives of men across Kenya and the world. We ask the hard questions. We listen. And together, we seek answers that can heal. Because help is not weakness, it's wisdom. And tonight, silence is no longer an option. Absolutely not. And I beg of you, our dear audiences watching from wherever it is you're watching from, please, why don't you join us? Join us in this discussion. Let's save our men. Thank you. Now, to help us really understand what we have in store for us tonight is a really, really interesting group of people. I would like to introduce them, not in any order of importance, but just in order of appearance. Starting at, like my far right is a gentleman who's my namesake. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Nice to meet you again, Victor.
Thank you so much.
We share the same name.
We do.
Yeah.
This is Victor Hamisi, who is the founder of Check on a Man.
Yes.
As among many other things. Hugely talented person, big heart. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
All right, all right. Now we have the clergy, but this gentleman is interesting. His name is the Reverend Hosea Pala. Is that correct?
Yep.
I like your outfit today.
Thank you.
It's a little different. Karibu sana. You join us from the Anglican Church of Kenya, Nairobi diocese, I believe.
Yeah, sure.
But I believe more than that, you wear many hats.
Yep.
So karibu sana.
Asante sana.
All right. You're wearing all black. I hope I hope you're safe. Next to our dear Reverend is Madam Pauline Machio. Karibu.
Thank you.
I believe your area of specialty is you're a counseling psychologist. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. And of course, last but not least is a member from the Kenya Human Rights Commission, Madam Nellius Njuguna. Karibu sana.
Asante sana, Victor. It's a pleasure to be here.
The honor is ours. And of course, we have our studio audience tonight. Young men and women full of insight, brimming with ideas and observations. Karibuni sana. Each time we come to you, each time you speak, we'll ask you to introduce yourself, and kindly would you stand strong, all right? Thank you so much. Now, we would like to have this conversation, and I want us to really involve everyone here. The people at home, once again, our producers are going to put the WhatsApp line at the bottom of the screen. The SMS line is also active. But I can see a significant number of people who are watching online on YouTube live. The group chat, the chat, the live chat is active. I have access to it. If you have a question, a comment, please share it with us, and I'll be happy to sample it, channel it to anyone here, and indeed tackle it. All right? With that out of the way, let's have this conversation. Listen, guys, we've heard these really serious numbers. Every 43 seconds, possibly the time it will take me to make this statement and ask this question, one person actually, across the world will be attempting and succeeding in taking their own life. And we have seen, I'm sure you'll be able to tell us in a lot more detail, but we understand there's a connection between mental health and, of course, suicide. I want us to just start from the top. And I don't know how to bring this in the best way possible, but our resident, friend here, Victor. Victor, you've had a unique experience.
Yeah.
And I dare say you're very brave in being very open about it. So I would really like to give you the stage just for a few minutes to talk to us. Ladies and gentlemen who are here and those of us watching at home, and I know it's okay for me to say this, Victor has attempted suicide 6 times, but he's been victorious. He's been victorious. Victor, what were you going through? What were you going through at that time? And what stopped you from going all the way?
Thanks for having me here again.
Karibu.
And first, before anything else, let me shout out to my landlord who is watching, just called.
Landlord.
Mr. Joram Kamau.
Mr. Joram Kamau. This month, please, this man is saving lives. Just defer 3 months, friend. God bless you, and you'll go to heaven. Mr. Joram Kamau, thank you. Go ahead.
Also, my lovely Guinea, where she is. So, after I lost both of my parents, life happened that your purpose in life will be found in either the pain or the passion you have. For me, when I lost my parents, being hosted by an uncle who drugged and raped me for more than 3 months, becoming a street boy, battling mental health, using drugs, going through the hands of many people who will help me. But unfortunately, they helped me to be who I am today. But the worst thing is I didn't get help of emotional healing.
Those are big things, man.
Yeah, because I can speak now as someone who has completely healed, but now as a father now, as a grown-up man, I understand what men go through. We meet men in the street giving those smile. I call it fake smile. You'll ask a man how is life, they'll tell you I'm okay. But behind the smile is 80% is pain. And at the end of the day, my pain made me to have a purpose in life. And I've been able to help a lot of, from young men, and also even the other gender, to open up and share what they're going through and to get healing. And I'd say, God forbid, being raped shaped me who I am today as a man. And it has helped me to bring the initiative check on a man and many other things to be today. And a lot of men have gotten healed because of what we went through. I'd say, quote unquote, Lord forgive me, I'm like Jesus. If Jesus had not been crucified, we'll not be using his name today. If I'd not gone through rape, I'd not be championing mental health in men, but I'd not also be championing GBV in men. Yeah.
Right. Silver lining to the cloud.
Yeah.
But tell us, those situations you describe are heavy, soul-crushing things, and you attempted to end your life 6 times. Yep. What made you keep trying to end? What made you stop from going all the way and actually succeeding in that?
On my own viewpoint is, I'm like any other man there who, mental health has got different forms of cause of it. There are some that you'll agree with me, financial, family background, issues of life, marriage, relationship. But the silver lining, especially for the men and also for myself, is we don't have anyone to share whatever we are going through or to share our thoughts and our emotions. When we go through it and we overcome it, that's when when you see someone going through it, that's when you can relate. So for me, it's because in the streets, which is one of my many mental suicide attempts, is I was wishing to tell someone what I was going through. And even when I came out of street, I wish I had told someone that I've been raped and I'm using pads, in terms of the blood not coming out, but I had no one. In today's society, the stigma is when a woman goes through rape, she can get help. But a man cannot open up and share, "Mwanaume unaripiwaje? You're a man, how can you be raped? You're masculine, should be strong, push away." For me, I was being drugged. Meaning it was something that was being done without my own conscience knowing and submission. You know, and I'm not saying that rape now can have to be in submission, but it was authorized.
And by somebody who's supposed to be a caretaker.
Yes, of me. But also the other suicide attempt is finances issues that I had. The last one that I crossed Sticker Road, Na jamaa akasimama na lori akatupia 6K na akaniambia very cuss word, the dog. And that is the money I needed to pay my rent and have my gas refilled.
Is that so?
Yes. And that was the last time I told
hang on a second. Hold on. This is crazy. So you were down 6K.
Yes.
And it was over and you wanted to end your life.
Yeah.
And you crossed Thika Road.
Yes.
Seeking suicide by car crash.
Yes.
And then what happened?
The guy, the lorry, I never forgot it's a fuso. In my life, I thank God I have a fuso.
Right.
Emergency brake. He engaged emergency brake.
Right.
And threw the money, and that is exactly the money I needed.
Wow. Ooh. Listen, we all need to take a breath after that. I mean, I'm glad we can laugh about it.
Yeah. But unfortunately, there are situations in life, and that's how men are. Like our reverend here, especially our men in the cloth. We run to them, we share our issues. But do you know how also they have issues they are going through?
Actually, thank you for bringing that up. I would like to bring you in, and Pauline as well. Could you talk to us about what are some of the most common battles that men face? And Reverend, are there any unique challenges that you face as a man of cloth? Yeah. You know, that are different from perhaps what a regular person would go through. And also in the line of work, what have you seen? You know, what cases have come to your table, so to speak?
Yeah, when I'm listening to him talk, I'm just thinking about how society is cruel to men, you know. Men not having spaces where they can share what they are going through. And so things build up, and the building up ends you on Thika Road. Some are lucky, you get 6K thrown at you, others just get knocked down, you know. And I know there are cases of many cases where men actually get knocked. And yeah, so the cruelty of society towards men and men not having spaces where they can express what they are really going through. When you talk about the men of the cloth, they are men too. Men of the cloth are first human beings, and then there's the collar, you know. In my training, I'm a trained counseling psychologist, all right? And I remember going through so many hours where we talked about supervision, that I need to be, first I have to recognize that I'm a wounded healer, right? I am wounded. And so to have, at a very personal level, to have a supervision where I get to talk to my supervisor about my wounds first. That's level 1. But level 2, I also get to hear about so many other people's wounds, all right? And that has a way of just affecting how you do your daily life, all right? And so again, we have a space where you sit down with the supervisor, and you get to talk about those cases that are weighing heavily on you. And so, yeah, even as men of the cloth, it is true, you are either going through your own personal challenges, or sometimes the stories of people that you listen to. If you don't have a space where you can talk about that, then finally it has a way of crushing you down, you know, finally, you know, because day by day you are meeting people in the office who will open up. It's either a marital issue, it's either a financial issue, it's either, I mean, the issues range across a wide spectrum of issues. Yeah. So those are our realities. One of the things that help men of the cloth is that we have spaces where we are able to share what is happening within the counseling room and say, there's this case, and then you're able to hear from so many people of the same profession, all right? But I know there are so many pastors outside there who do not have those spaces, and so many are ending up crashing down under the weight of whatever they are getting every time.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective. Pauline, what will be your contribution to this question? What, in your experience, what are the challenges that you've seen men face and carry?
So first of all, is just to recognize that the society has put a man in a place where they should feel that they are independent, the masculinity, that you don't need to come out because of the fear and shame. And also sometimes men themselves have what we call self-stigma. They feel they're in control, they feel they're independent, and maybe seeking help, maybe to them is a sign of weakness. So that prevents them from getting maybe the services they require timely. So by the time maybe they are coming for help, they've already, some have self-medicated themselves, you know, just try to see whether they're still going to be better. But eventually things become worse for them. And as Mr. Victor said, there are so many causes of why mental issues, not really disorders as such, but also psychological disturbances. So from the current situation, the common ones we've seen, of course, looking at the day-to-day activity, work. There's a lot of work-related stresses, and of course, they could be burnout, which is being caused by work overload, or unemployment that we are seeing even from the young men and women, which is cutting across. So when you're not employed and you're idle, of course, there's a lot of drug use, there's a lot of criminality that takes place, and of course, a lot of substance use activities, because they don't have something productive to be doing. We also have family conflicts, marital conflicts, as he has said. There's a lot of marital conflicts in the moment, at the moment, where people are now divorcing, separation, family dynamics have changed. We are seeing where there's single parenthood. We are seeing where people are co-parenting, a child-headed a family because of losses of maybe of parents, like Victor said, when he lost his parent, he was under the care of somebody. So then there's the adverse childhood experiences, like what he went through. It ranges from emotional trauma, physical trauma, sexual abuse, and any other form of abuse, neglect, where you're even neglected in terms of your needs as a child, where you need a lot of attachment, where you need a lot of emotional support just to help you to be better. So when this person grows to be an adult with all this, he doesn't know what love is. He was never loved. He doesn't know what patience is. He doesn't know what empathy is. So how do you expect this man, when they are of age, to give what they do not have? You can only give what you have. So with those shortcomings, you find that upbringing and family, parenting styles also. We have different parenting styles that can help us also shape who we are even in our future. Then other common issues that we are seeing is also about financial stress. We know we're in a country where a lot of services, goods have gone high cost of living. We have taxes, debts to pay. You are the breadwinner, maybe taking care of your parents. So there's a lot when it comes to financial obligation. And sometimes it's not easy even for a man to say, I do not have. At least for us women, we joke around and say, I'm broke. Hardly do you hear a man saying they're broke. It's very hard for them to pronounce. Maybe they can let us know.
Right.
But for us, it's common. If I'm broke, I'm broke.
Yeah.
Yes. But for you to say you're broke, you find it very difficult to confess that you're broke.
It means a lot more.
Yeah, it means a lot more.
All right, okay.
Yes.
At this point, Nelius, I'll come to you in a second. Allow me to introduce a guest that has just joined us in the course of the conversation. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine.
Good people of Kenya, listen, this guy has many titles. He is first bishop, doctor, right? In that order.
Yes.
The bishop first, then doctor. Yes. William Sifuna.
Yes.
Karibu sana. You're joining us from the Kenya Police Service, I believe.
Yes.
And I believe you are a senior counselor and mediator.
Yes.
There, among many other things.
I'm a motivational speaker again.
Oh, brilliant. Karibu sana.
Yeah, thank you.
I see you've come with your tools of trade.
Hallelujah.
All right. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
-1, which? No. That one we cannot. Sir, give us an idea. Kenya has a very large police service, very large. I mean, comparatively, you know, a large police service. A vast majority of them are men. In your experience, what challenges have you seen our men in uniform go through? And are they unique and different from what perhaps you might call a civilian man would go through?
Yeah, as he said, my name is Bishop Dr. William Sifuna. I'm a superintendent of police. Currently, I'm based at Kilimani Sub-County as a deputy SPD. Initially, I've been at police headquarters, welfare, for the welfare of police. And I'm the pioneer of chaplains and counseling, because I started counseling and chaplaincy as a calling to me in the service. So I've rose through the ranks, and I've seen a lot that police men go through, and I'm one of them. There's a lot that police experience that a common man cannot believe, because there is a lot of demand from a police officer. First of all, as a policeman, let me use myself as an example. I'm a man like another man. I'm a married man to my wife, a female wife. And I also have.
I think in this day and age, it's important to clarify.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
And I have children. And you see, all those, like any other man, they have the demand to their father. She has a demand to her husband. I have my parents who rely on me. So I'm talking on behalf of other officers, policemen. And as a policeman, the public expects me to protect them, protect their properties, and bring order and sanity in the environment. Then from there, I also need to be like another man. Have leisure, have time, maybe off, leave or something. But at times we find that such a time for us is not there. No leisure for police. Always focused on the duty, always timed. I have my own time. Everything is tabulated. How I spend my time is controlled. How even I eat is controlled. How I sleep is controlled. For you can sleep, any other common man can sleep the whole night, can sleep the entire sleep. But with me, I have to put on the alarm to wake me up so that I should not miss my timing for duty. Then you find that I earn salary like any other man. And other men are allowed to do some business, do some other things, but police we don't. Like doing some other business, like maybe running another business that is conflicting with my work, we are not allowed. So you find that we confine ourselves to live within where we have been put. Then you find that at times it draws us into despair. Despair because you think of how you can balance the equations. Then there is no room. But as a police officer, you have to be like a police officer. As she said, you cannot now go around saying, I don't have this, I don't have. You have to find a way of making things work. Then as men as well, you say that being a man, there's that ego of a man. You cannot lower the standard, you keep it. Then being a police officer again, it adds another value that I should never say, I don't have or I cannot do it. We always believe we can manage even what you cannot manage. So you find that it brings us in a state of desperation, and then eventually you start feeling like you pity for yourself. Why am I here and why am I in this profession? But eventually you find that now, when you compare yourself with the other, you have privileges, we have opportunities, and we have opportunities to serve. And we always believe when you serve humanity, you are serving God. That's the slogan that the police have. We will go. When things happen, we run towards the enemy, as members of the public are running away from the enemy. So you find that we have to be there to do whatever we vowed that we have to. So you find that eventually when you come back, you are so fatigued. So that's when you find that some men tend to break down and they opt to go and drink alcohol or maybe do something else that can just put their minds off. That's why you find that at times you can find a police officer in uniform and is so drunk because of the underlying issues that are pushing him too high beyond his control. So,
would you allow me to ask, sorry to cut you short, would you allow me to ask you a question that I think a lot of Kenyans would be interested in?
Ask, yes.
Going through all of that, we're going into the mind of a Kenyan male police officer, going through the thing that you said, and being, a man first before, the office that you occupy. Like in his case, a man of the cloth. In your case, both a man of the cloth and a police officer. Can you talk to us about the mood of the country right now? Is very anti-police. A lot of people feel like police is rafiki. A lot of people feel like the police are no longer the custodians or the protectors of society, and instead they're seen, police officers are seen as enemies of the people. Talk to me about two things. First, what kind of impact does this public opinion have on a right-thinking police officer? But also, talk to us about why police officers, or some of the reasons why police officers go rogue. Can you help us, understand that?
We are going to, if I've moved in different countries,
yes,
and I've worked with the different police societies globally. To me, I rate Kenya Police, we are the best in Africa. Because I've worked with other police men and women in the mission, and we see how they behave, we share together, they, even pay, we are better off in the, when it comes to the issues of salary. We are better off, not the best, but we are better off than others. And when you look at the heart of the police, Kenyan police, we love our people. But you see, any human being on earth will like to have freedom. If you restrain somebody from doing something, that's when they will do it. So with us, our duty is to bring order, maintain law, and also apprehend. And you find that the society want to be free to do whatever they want to do. If you want to offend somebody or maybe do something, you want to do it. If the police come, police is bad. And they find that when they have a problem, they call the police. You hate us. You don't like us. But when you have problems, you call us. And we come. We love you. So to me, I don't see anything that will hinder us from serving our people and serving our country, even if we will not be accepted. Because, it's very rare to find that the society is now, echoing and, chanting and saying, okay, we love our police. No single day. But once something unique has happened, one person who has committed an offense, maybe because of accident or something, the whole police is rotten. But if we do good things, we have never seen anybody telling us we have done good. And we are there for you. We have sacrificed. We leave our families. I'm now on duty. I'm out to make sure that there is order in the city. I'm out to make sure that all supervisors or police commanders who are under me, they are on duty. Our juniors are on duty in patrol. It rains, we are there. In the cold, we are there. When people are fully, enjoying your sleep in the blankets. But you don't see that. A human being will never see anything good from police, because we are there to restrict you from doing whatever you want to do freely with freedom. Because we normally think that your liberty or your joy might not be the liberty and the joy to another person. So what you think you are doing is good. Like now when you find people drinking illegal brew, these local brews that, bring a lot of diseases to people, and then we arrest, and then we do whatever. We just bring. We don't kill them. We don't do whatever. We're just, okay, we need order here, because, you find that some people can even decide to do something they feel they are enjoying. But when in real sense, they are affecting some other people. So when the police come there to bring order, police is bad. Like now, what I always see, at times when there is no campaigns, we are very peaceful with the members of the public. But when the campaigns begin, that's when conflict begin, police and the public. Why? Because of incitements, because of insults, because of such like things from some interested people who use our public.
All right.
So what I was just wanted to finish maybe
is
that as police officers, we took our vow, an oath, that we shall have to serve our nation, serve our people, and be loyal to our president and to the government. So even if people will say the government is bad or president is bad or whatever is bad, police will remain there to make sure that we stand with a standing government until the end. When you people choose others, and then we also stand behind them, and that is it. So even if people say police are bad, with us we believe we are good, and whatever we are doing is good.
All right, but in the case of those who have actually been convicted, or those who have actually been seen to commit crimes, are there any unique situations that can cause a good policeman to turn bad?
Yes.
What are those things?
At times you find that when a police officer is on duty, we wake up in the morning like any other. Then we go for duty like any other person going for duty, isn't it? Eventually you find that, like now, recently I remember the latest when I was confronting the rioters, I was talking to them, and they also listened to me, and they agreed with whatever I told them, and then they stopped rioting. And at times you can go to a hostile environment whereby some people have been hired or maybe paid to do something. They want to show whoever, what can I say, for them, that whatever they have been paid has worked. So even if police officers go to say, okay, let us now talk, let us go like this, find that people already, they are beating police with the stones and such alike. So police will maybe use some necessary force, at least to quell the crowd. But you find the crowd will go rampant, and now they feel overwhelmed. They will use another necessary force for them to protect their lives and protect other people's lives or property. And eventually in the process, you find that some people lose even lives, and eventually you find that now a police officer has now committed a crime. And at times you find that, police officers are also human beings. So we were born in different environments, and we are brought up differently. So somebody maybe has a different character or a behavior or some conduct. So some have misconduct, some bad behavior, and some bad characters. So in uniform, as a human being, I'm in uniform, but I'm a human being. Whatever is in my mind, whatever is in my heart, nobody knows. And we are not the same. So as a human being, some officers can commit crime, like even robbery, even stealing, like even now doing some other things that are against the law. And that is it. And as a police officer, they also face the law, the hand of the law, and that is it.
All right, all right. I can see there's a couple of questions based on something you've said. Let's we'll come to you in a second. Your name, please, where you're from, and your question or comment. Please stand up.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jerry Mbogo, founder in New Initiative. I come from Kirinyaga County. And I have a question, or I have something that I may add on whatever our officer has said, or the question that you've asked him about the rogue police. I'm very devastated tonight to mention that we've lost one of the hawkers in Nairobi, CBD, who was killed by a young police officers. Currently, we are also having protests because of a young man, a very vibrant, who has also been killed by police officers. You've mentioned about the role of the police officer being maintaining law and order. What about the young police officers that have decided to do otherwise from whatever you've take oath and agreed you'll be protecting Kenyans and even their properties. Do they have mentors? I've been able to follow the accounts of the person who shot Eri, and you can see from even whatever he posted or he has been posting, it is somebody who has mental issues. You can see from far. It is somebody who is even radicalized, working as a police officer. Do you tell us as young people who are sitting here, we are safe under your arms? If any time we demand our rights, just like you said, you are following constitution. As young people, when we go to the street, demanding for the justice of the young people who have been killed by people in uniform, we are following the constitution. Do we deserve to be killed? Do we deserve to be beaten up?
All right. All right, thank you for your point. Let's get a few other points. Please pass the mic to the young lady here. Is it still directed to our dear officer, or is it about the broader subject of men's? Okay, sure.
Thank
name,
you.
Please, and where you're from.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Beth from Nyandarua. And I would just like to shout out to my friends who are watching, Spencer in Paris. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Spencer.
I want to ask a question. Do you have a channel where you go to about mental health? Because whatever is happening right now, we can see that those police officers are not, you cannot shoot a person at that close range where you are just normal. It is not normal. So do you have a channel where you go to take your problems, or do you have someone to talk to? Because we all need someone to talk to. So do you have a channel where you go and talk your problems out, whatever you're facing out here? Because everyone needs someone to talk to.
All right. I think those are really good points. One last one before we shift back to the panel. Anyone in the group? The gentleman. Yes, your name, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
I want to talk about the issue that happened today.
Oh, okay.
We had a young man shot, and because we are talking about men's mental awareness, where do we leave the brothers, the father, and the friends who are men? Because we've seen people who are supposed to be protecting us. You've told us when you call us, or when we call you so that you can help us in case of a crisis, you normally come because you love us. But you have still told us, you swear to protect the government that is in course. Even if they are doing the wrong thing, you still protect them. How is it adding up? Because we need to differentiate the right thing and the wrong thing.
All right.
You protect the government.
Okay.
Okay. That is, you are told to protect people because they have come to riot because they don't agree with something. You find somebody has been shot because he was coming to fight for his rights. So we ask you, you swear to protect the government, and yet it is doing a mistake.
Okay.
As a bishop, please tell us.
All right, that's a good point. Now, so our dear panelists, just be on standby. The rest of the guys be on standby. Clearly, this is something that's in the heart and mind of a lot of Kenyans, and I think it would be good to get a response from you, Bishop. Should I call you Bishop Dr. Sifuna?
William Sifuna, yes.
Yes.
I would have loved to interdict on what they've said about police.
We shall. We'll come back in a second. Let's just get a quick response, and then we'll continue with the rest of the discussion. Clearly, this is something, I'm sure you can appreciate the urgency and even the relevance of the questions that have been asked. In a few minutes, could you please respond?
Yeah, so I will begin with my sister. Sort of police shooting, rioters or maybe protesters. Let me use protester because it's a humble, okay. So what I have to say is that in the first place I said we swear that we'll protect our life, be loyal to the government and to the president, isn't it? I was saying what we normally take oath for, isn't it? It's not that now once we take the oath, we need to, we turn against it. We will maintain that. So whatever has happened, you see, look at the years that we have lived as Kenyans, and we are really appreciating that we are improving each and every day. When you look at the government that we have gone through, you look at where we are right now, things have changed. We have advanced. We need to appreciate that. And each and every situation, when it happens, there's what we call appreciation. You know, appreciation means you take things the way they are. Whatever has happened, you find like accidents are happening, people are dying, on the roads, isn't it? Police are the ones who go to collect, you know, maybe the bodies and also the victims, and we make sure we escort them to hospital. They take the bodies to the mortuaries and such like, isn't it? So the example, like when people are now rioting, and then the police are there. In the first place, you can witness. We always see police are humbly standing and waiting, and there are ways of people presenting their issues. So if things have turned, that you find that when you are defending this side, people are burning other people's properties like the other side. And the other side, people are being attacked. Like even today, when you look very well, there are two parties that came in form of rioters, in form of protesters, and they were against each other, isn't it? So at times things happen, but when you see a particular case, like now when you saw that police officer, he's dealt with. He will be dealt with according to the law. So you cannot condemn the entire police, those who are taking care of other people. As I'm saying, we are now on duty. I'm in uniform because I'm on duty right now. So when I'm here, I ensure that we are protected. So if anything happens and one officer, and I said earlier on, we are not, the same. Somebody might be having, maybe hyper, high-tempered. Where something happened, you saw another police officer just pushing people and slapping them, run away and go. And this now came and did whatever he did. Temper is different. Even you, as we are seated here, when something happens here, some people will faint. I'll start now doing first aid here. So we need to understand such a situation, and then we appreciate it the way it is. So we cannot say, and there's no single day I'll say, the government, there's not a single day me as a police officer will say, my government is doing a wrong thing and I'm supporting a wrong thing. I'm a Kenyan as well. If anything is affecting you, it's also affecting me as well. But we must find a way of maintaining our nation. We cannot leave our Kenya to burn down because we want somebody to say police are good. You'll never tell us we are bad, but we'll still stand to make sure that we separate wrong from good.
All right.
Balance, yes.
All right. Thank you. Now, I want us to shift the conversation.
Just here.
Yeah.
Him.
Okay.
He's asking, I thought even he could even, hit me. Because he has even finished that question.
Yes.
And I want to say something.
Passion.
Yes, and the young girl.
Yes.
Young girl, I want to say this. I began by saying, I'm the pioneer of chaplains and counseling in the police. We have a full-fledged directorate in the Kenya Police Service that's standing in for counseling services, and it's headed by an AIG, Assistant Inspector General of Police. He's a doctor, Dr. Vincent Makoha. He's the director. And we have professional counselors, doctors. We are there, learned. And we have ladies who are counselors. We have men who are counselors. And in fact, we have civilian staff whom the National Police Service Commission has employed. Wanapata mshahara. They are getting salary because of counseling the police and their families. And we are having forums. And
is it working? Is that
very much working? Even today, I was with them. Yeah? When the officers finish, running in the patrols, some of them are beaten, some of them are hurt in the hospitals. We have officers in the hospitals right now. You people, you pretend as if we are robots. We are human beings. You are beating us with the stones, and then we are taken to hospital. So counselors go there, and I'm one of them. And I'm also counseling rioters or victims of riots who are also in hospital. We go talk to them, prepare. In fact, I buy fruits for some of them. You can even clap for me because I do that. So I want to say this.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to finish by saying this.
Yeah.
We have a very nice counseling system in the police right now. If you want, I can even book you now. I give you an appointment, and I'll stand in for you a cup of tea and a piece of my eye. You come and then see, and then you see how things are working. Police headquarters, if you go there, ask for, you want to see the director, chaplains and counseling. We do spiritual nourishment. Chaplains is full-fledged. We have even Catholic fathers, a full father He was a police officer in uniform, a chief inspector. And then we have catechists, we have bishops, we have reverends, we have pastors, we have evangelists. You always see us doing even crusades in uniform.
We've seen the concerts as well.
In fact, you see the concerts.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And I'm always on TV, each and every channel, talking about counseling, isn't it?
Bishop,
but we don't counsel all of them.
Allow me to say this.
Not all of them. Not all of them have succeeded in going through counseling.
Really?
But we are making steps, in fact.
All right.
And those who are drunkards, we normally take them for rehab.
All right. So, Bishop, a time is coming when we will actually have this as a special topic.
Yes, he had something to say.
Yes, I know. We'll come to him in a second.
Give him a minute, yes.
I really feel like we need to refocus the conversation a bit. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Allow me to make a tentative promise.
Yes.
Of course, we would like to create a show specifically on police welfare and mental health among police officers. I hope you'll honor the invitation.
I like that.
All right. Gents and ladies, allow me to just go around the room a little bit. Nellias, you haven't shared anything. From a human rights perspective, where are we failing our men?
Yes. It's quite heavy after the discussion about the police officers and everything to go back to this discussion, yes. But the human right, from a human rights perspective, where I've interacted with men is mostly in the connection between men and gender-based violence.
Right.
Because what we find is that men can be perpetrators, but they are also survivors of gender-based violence. So what you find is that most men, once they experience gender-based violence, they suffer from stigma, from reporting, because of how the criminal justice system is equipped to handle with main issues. So first of all, once the police stations usually have a gender desk, and sometimes you'll find, because most of the times gender issues are assumed to be women issues, they're not seen as if they are cross-cutting both men and female. So you'll find the police officer is probably female. So as a male coming to report to a female police officer, your first reaction is, no, I'm not comfortable. And also the police officer who is there, if you come, some of them might laugh at you because to them it's like, you're a man, vumilia hii kitu au, hata wewe unaweza chapana unaweza, you can defend yourself. So that is usually the first point, and then even the lack of psychosocial support at police station for survivors, because you find that you will find that most police stations don't have a counselor or a psychologist to support survivors, and these include men. And after that, now it's the safe houses, the shelters. You'll find there is not much support for a man who is undergoing a human rights violation in terms, especially gender-based violence. You'll notice there's a lot of focus on women and children. So even recently, there's a man who approached me. He was a survivor of gender-based violence, and he was seeking assistance. But even as an organization ourselves, we are not equipped. And then when I started looking around for what other organizations can I refer him to, and for women, I could name so many. But when I looked at for a man, male organization that can support him, it was very challenging. It was a challenge. I got one, but I don't know they got the assistant he needed, but I referred him there. But the fact that even in the first place, I couldn't get an organization that can assist him, or even a shelter or a safe house. Most of them are female and women, and even for female, it's already lacking. So you can now imagine for men. It's a worse situation.
So what usually happens for people like that, if you fail to find a safe haven, what happens to them? Do they go back to the circumstances that caused the problem in the first place?
Most of the times that's what happens, because if someone cannot escape safely from their situation, they will have to go back to that situation. Sometimes what happens is they intervene through like village elders, chiefs, church, clergy. So those are the people who will assist this person to get back, but you see that still taken back, especially if it's like domestic violence. Someone is still going back to a wife or a spouse who is already abusing them. Okay. Yes.
All right. The church is coming in. I want to bring in the church here for a second. Reverend Hosea, historically in Africa and in Kenya, the church has been accused of stigmatizing mental health matters, particularly in men. Is that still the case, or has the tide turned?
I can say usually there used to be a disconnect between what is psychological and what is spiritual, all right? There was no sufficient training among clergy to really tell the difference. So anything was handled spiritually. You are going through gender-based violence, you'll be told, go and pray, all right? You are going through mental health, depression, anxiety, you'll be told, go and pray. But I like that there is a shift right now, that in theological institutions, it's taking a multidisciplinary approach where clergy are now being, they're also being trained in basic counseling skills, basic referral skills, you know, so that if you're not able to handle a situation, instead of branding it as spiritual, you are able to identify, does this need a psychological approach? I am seeing many churches having counseling departments and programs where clergy can be able to refer congregants who are going through mental problems, you know. And so I think there's been a shift. It's not like it used to be back in the days. There's a very, very big change. There are clergy who are now trained counseling psychologists, like I am, and so you are able to be very sensitive and relevant in handling any issue that is mental health related. I also like that now that we are having a conversation about men, churches are also having very many programs for men where men are able to come together and talk about issues that they are going through. There is still a bit of debate as to whether churches are handling that well. I have had debates about, do men need safe spaces or courageous spaces, you know? And so there is a lot of that. Men don't talk about their issues like women. Like, you don't gather us in a place and we are, you know, we are talking the way women talk. Men,
yeah, I believe you mentioned something similar.
Yeah.
It's easier for women to talk.
To talk, you know.
And to be received than it is for men.
Yeah.
Actually, just on that point, any fathers in the room? Fathers? We've got 2 fathers, 3 fathers in the room, and you're a father, I believe. How many of you fathers actually were celebrated 2 days ago when it was Father's Day? You were celebrated properly. Yeah. Did you feel something in your heart?
Do you know how it feels to be sent money? And you're told, go spend that money, all of it.
That was you?
Yes.
That was, congratulations. I saw you doing mental calculations in your head. Why?
Maybe I say, yes, we had the day. It was nice having that day. But again, the same day, it was a day of celebrating World Toilet Day. I mean,
okay.
Where are we as men? You know, sometimes where are we as men?
Interesting. The gentleman at the back, please. Before we come back,
and
he's got a mic.
Just to add on that, I think I saw a very funny comment. Someone was actually saying that when you were celebrating the Mother's Day, you just post Happy Mother's Day. But then when it came to Happy Father's Day, people are saying they're trying to categorize the fathers. We are celebrating the financially stable fathers. We are celebrating the fathers who are there. The responsible fathers. So I feel that was putting men in a certain container, like we're only celebrating particular men, but we're not celebrating whole men just as it was being done to the ladies.
Actually, on that point, allow me to ask the fathers in the room here, what mental challenges or what mental health problems would be behind a symptom such as a bad father? When people see a bad father, what is it that they don't see inside their minds and hearts? Let's start with you, Victor.
Allow me to say this before I answer that question. There are 10 hard truths a man must remember. Nice men are used, weak men are abused, soft men are pushed around, shy men are ignored.
But those are the things we're
allow me to say this, yes. Allow me to say, and I'll tackle to answer that question. Patient men are exploited, ruthless men are respected, honest men are deceived, loyal men are taken for granted, emotional men are mocked, and quiet men are overlooked. This is what I'll discuss in this topic. The problem is we should tackle the man and how the man should be brought out and how the man should handle his emotional issues. But before I say all this, to the police I'll say this with all due honesty. Once a police DCI head of Parklands police stations once gave me part of my driving school money. And I met him in the jam when I was struggling as a street boy. And I was a donda then and helped me to become who I am today. The problem in our society with the police, and I'll talk on their behalf, the problem with the police are the politician. And that is not negotiable. That's where the problem is. The power handlers. They'll support anyone that comes into power until they leave. The second problem is us, the citizens.
Okay.
We vote with emotions. We don't vote people who can lead us well and to combine with the police. Okay. Going back to the men.
Yes, please.
The biggest problem we have is how we were brought up, where we came from. For me as Victor, my parents passing, maybe it's God's plan. But back home, their cultures that were good and their cultures were not good. And we need to go back home as fathers, as mothers. Because I tell you on the Father's Day, provision as a man is not about the financial only. It's the emotional, but also the presence-wise. Every man in this room that has a girlfriend, has a son, a daughter, even those men who do not support kids because they don't have the money, they're seen as deadbeat fathers. Because they don't have money, they're seen as deadbeat fathers, just because they don't have the money. But if they have the money and they're not together, the man and the woman, they're not together and they have a kid, they're not called deadbeat because they have the leverage of money, being given the money to support them. Let's go back and hold our emotions. I think the biggest problem we have as a society is handling our emotion and how we talk and emit what we say and emit what we do in our society. That's where the biggest problem is. I'll go back to family issues. If the basis, the reason why God saw it was not good for a man, male not to be alone, is because we have a helper. Women are helpers to us. The strength of a woman is emotions. The man was to hunt, bring. The woman was to calm the tired man and to prepare and have conversation and tell him tomorrow you'll win. Even if you come back home without anything, I believe tomorrow you'll win. But not every woman is favored, only a woman that has a relationship with God. Yep.
Reassurance.
And reassurance also. But if you come back home without anything, you are nagged. Even God himself inspired those people who read in the Bible. And he said in the Bible, it is better for a man to live on the top of a rooftop or to live in the desert or to live in the shrub than to live with a nagging, cunning, quarrelsome woman. You know? At the end of the day,
so this is an area where something is lacking.
Yes, even in marriages. But I'll go back also as men. The biggest problem we've had as men is we have people around us who we can talk to, but we don't go out. There's a young man known as, allow me to say a young man because we're in the age gap, Benihin Walubengo. He has classes, I can recommend that. He has classes where you can go empower yourself. But young men cannot work hard. You can even go there and say, I don't have the money. Can I get classes for empowerment? Men have issues they're going through. I myself, when I went through the rape, I had to open up to someone and tell them what I was going through. If Victor had not opened up and shared whatever he was going through, today Victor will not be a Victor. I would have just remained a used and dumped young man who went through rape and never overcame that dust. It is high time as men, we do away with our ego. The biggest problem with men is ego. You know, and allow me to say this and blunder everything for the men that might be angry, uko inje. And I say this, the truth is, 3 things are making us go down as men. Number 1, our ego. Number 2, our third leg, which you know what I'm talking about. And number 3, on how we control our emotions. If men are able to control those 3 things, We can be good fathers. Let me tell you, you're a deadbeat fathers, you're unable to provide for your children. Be there, support your kid emotionally. And that's why when we get all in their ages, our kids are more attached to the mothers, and as the men, they support their mothers, and we start becoming jealous because we provided behind the scene, but we didn't provide time. Even in the Bible it says, there is time and season for everything. I'll say number 2 in this, in terms of the men. It is high time as men we know that it's okay not to be okay. But it's not okay for you as a man to keep quiet and die silently. Embrace talking to the therapist. The reason why we don't lose women due to mental health, even women have mental health issues, is because when they meet in their circles, and that's even women empowerment is going because they reach out to one another and they're never ashamed. Allow me to use the Muslim community, especially wa Somali. They empower you. Wanavurutana. You know, we have this caplot somewhere. You have this business. We'll give to him, and when he grows, the capital will bring back and bring it to someone else. When was the last time as men we empowered each other? Men are envious. You get an opportunity for someone as a job, let's say in TV47 there's an opportunity, but what will Victor do? Allow me to quote you, use an example. Victor will give an opportunity to a woman, not a fellow man. But the truth is, behind every man, there's 100 people who depend on him, directly and indirectly. But what we do, we bring on ourselves on each other. I'll finish by saying this, as we continue this conversation on mental health in men, is that men have not realized that being vulnerable does not demean or make you less a man. The police station I walk to, sir, and I have conversation with the police, and they see me as a human, we relate as human past, before we see their professions. And that is where the biggest problem is. Men are never vulnerable. And do you know what makes them not to be vulnerable? The ego. Because they see that if they open up and share, I was raped. Friend, I tell you, up to today, even in my friend circle, I've pulled away from the friends I was with, and I'm not ashamed to say this on national television. There's a clique of group I was with. Every time they want something from me, but when I need a help, they can never give me. You know the reason why? I realize that they're not good friends. Have friends that can make you grow spiritually. Friends that will not say something behind you, but they will tell you, Victor, this thing is wrong, on your face, and correct you in love and with love. Friends who will mention your name in opportunities where the opportunities in the tables are. And finally, friends who will always there hang with you to tell you, bro, let us be there for one another.
All right, all right. Thank you for bringing that up, because Pauline, I want to bring you in just real quick. From where you sit, talk to us about, you've heard some of the things that the gentlemen have shared, some of the societal expectations and trauma and such things that, you know, that affect our men. But I want us to shift the conversation towards solutions, towards toolkits, things that the men that are watching and the women that are here can listen to and be able to impact the men in your lives, right? Talk to us about this. One of the things that is clearly apparent, and from what you've said, something about the background, where the person was raised, how they were raised. You talked about family issues. Can you give us a toolkit for unpacking emotional trauma that comes from childhood? How does a grown man face the things that the little boy faced when he was young? Can you give us something that, I think now we shift gears into solutions, right? Yes, pointers, because we know this is a huge conversation. We would be arrogant to imagine that the time that we have for this program would be able to solve everything. So I believe in the time that is left, allow us to shift into solutions. Because there are men who are listening to us, women who are listening to us, who are asking, okay, well, what can I do? Okay? So let's toolkit this subject of emotional trauma. Okay? Someone is carrying a wound. For example, a wound from how they were brought up. You mentioned something earlier that some people were not listened to, were not given the space, were not given the love. And how do you expect them to be loving themselves when they were not loved? How do you do something you're not familiar with? How does one bridge that gap?
So first of all, we say that you have to recognize. For you to get help, you have to recognize that you need that help. So some of the strategies we use for therapists is just doing what we call motivational interview for you to have more insight. Mm-hmm. It's just like somebody using alcohol. You know, they'll not change the behavior unless they are they have insight on the need to change behavior. So this person has to be in that space where they think they can be able to open up. And by opening up, it means that I'm in a safe space where I'm not being judged. I'm being taken like a person, there's empathy, so that and have a good therapeutic relationship with the person who's helping you, so that you can be able to open up and unpack, because there's some things that are ingrained in this person that they've never had that space to share. So it's a process. You know, counseling is not like a 1 session or 2 sessions. It takes a lot of time, looking at the triggers, looking at the predisposing factors, and also protective factors around and support system that these people have. So you have to conceptualize all that for you to come up with maybe a plan that may need individual therapy, it may need family therapy, group therapy, group support, depending on the issues. So for us, we wouldn't want to say that a one-fit-all approach is looking at the individual, where they're coming from, their background, and narrowing it down to what we call person-centered care.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Bishop, before I come to you, Bishop, I have a question for you. Speak to a man to man. Just on top of what she said, how do you heal a broken man today to make him a whole man, wholesome man tomorrow? Do you have any pointers? 3 things, perhaps, that a man out there can do?
Yes, I'm a man, and I've seen in my office, I'm handling such cases with men and women. You find that a man is very delicate, such that there's what we call an ego of a man. Whether learned or not, whether short or tall, whether fat or thin, a man is a man, and they have the ego. So whenever there is anything that has made a man to break down, repair is, he has to face the reality. And that reality, when he opens up, as you said, and explore, then you find a way of helping. A man who keeps quiet is always suicidal, most of them, including my police officers, as I've been dealing with the cases. You find that even in my office, when people are coming, they have some, emotional, psychological issues. You count the number of my records during the day. Women are more, always. They want to be helped. They come to open up. They look for somebody to help.
They're willing.
Yes, they are very much willing. But men, you have to coerce them.
So how can you unlock someone who is unwilling to share?
What we normally do, we make forums, and we make group counseling, so that as you counsel, you are not specific, because a man will close in. Even if you speak, he knows he's the one, but he will just close in and keep quiet as if he's okay, and they are dying inside. So what we do group counseling, so that when you speak, they will just, they pick from there. And eventually, when you find maybe somebody who is very much concerned, like a wife who is of noble character, will always want her husband to be helped. They will come out and find a way. I want you, let him not know that I have come, but find a way of helping my man. Then you find that now from there, we have to fix where the problem is.
Okay.
5 things in life for men. There is what we call anger. Men are more angered than women. And that anger, they will not express it. They will hold on it. It will pile up. Stress, then it will graduate into depression. So we are looking at a way of coming up with some programs that we can help our men, and it's working now.
Okay.
Like now, I'm the head of the Chaplains International. We are training men and women, youths, boys and girls, on how to approach issues the way they are. We call them appreciating the issues, and then you approach them in the right way, not in the way of blaming others.
Okay.
So number 2 is that through training, we are going to help men and men. But you find that now you cannot even reach men and men. What we do is that we want to make forums through the churches, and you find that men and men don't go to church. Even if you go to the church, you find women are full, but the men are very few. A man can drop the woman and the children at the gate church, at church guard, and then he goes now somewhere else. You never know where they go to ventilate. Yeah. But now we are finding a way of helping our men.
Okay.
And you see now even the society is not very fair to men.
Okay.
They are taking care of women. You are here and you are really favored, and men are left vulnerable. So we want also to come out like women now. This society we are now leading, ndio naona kwamba riot ikikuja, wanaume ni wengi. Na kwa kanisa, wanawake ndio wengi. Because
all right.
Men, young boys or young children are not taken to Sunday school. Unapata anaendesha gari kwa barabara, watu wakiwa church. So we want to mobilize, we begin from, charity begins at home. Tuanzie nyumbani. Tulete wanaume. Lakini hao wenye wamegrow, tunang'ang'ana tu, lakini you cannot you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. So even men, they are like that. Correcting an human is a very big problem.
All right. My director tells me we are running out of time. You said 5 points. You've mentioned 2. Quick one. What are the other 3?
The other 3 is about controlling what we call complaints.
Okay.
When you find a man who complains, women is normal. Let them complain, even 100 times. They can even become, like Fufusera all the time. But that's how they ventilate. But with men, if you find a man who complains, then he has a problem. Even when you look at the background, even in his house, he has a problem. Men, we should find solutions, because you are a leader. You need to find solution to the problem, not to complain.
All right.
Number 3. Yes. Number 1 was anger, controlling anger.
You said anger.
Number 2, complaining.
Complaining.
A man should not complain. Find a solution.
Find solutions.
Even if you don't have money. Have you ever seen when a man and a lady, they go somewhere in a shop or maybe in a hotel, a man will order some food for the woman, and because he knows he has a limitation of funds, he will say he's not hungry, he has already eaten, when he's more hungrier than the woman. So finding a solution to the problem. Because if you don't feed her, you will have a problem.
Creative problem solving.
Yes.
Let me bring in
Number 3
yes, please.
is about murmuring.
Okay.
Because murmuring is witchcraft. If you are a man and you murmur, and then you are a witch to your life, don't murmur. What you need to speak it out. Don't murmur, because it will kill you inside. Number 4.
Yes, please.
Men are not made for gossip. If you find a man who is a gossiper, then that man is cursed. We need now to help our men to understand the mode, because they are leaders.
All right.
Number 5.
Yes, please.
A man is not meant to argue. You are meant to give directives and be firm on them.
All right. Okay, I can see lots of nods. We're coming to you guys. We're coming, I promise. Prepare your points, and nice and tight, because time is running. Reverend, please,
I think
as tight as you can.
Yeah, as we talk about solutions, all right, I want to take just the men who are here, yourself, Victor, and Bishop, and myself.
Yes.
All right, let me just use this as an example. One thing that stands out about these men who are here, you are living for something that's bigger than yourself. True. All right? And you found that thing, all right? You are helping out in the police force. You are running the check on a man.
So feeding street kids.
Yes, I'm doing clerical work and other things that give me that sense of meaning in life. You're doing something that gives you meaning. I think one of the things that a man should do is to find those things that give them meaning, all right? Once you get that which gives you meaning, usually people will call it purpose. I find it a very sometimes ambiguous word, all right? Once you find that which gives you meaning, it transcends all these symptoms that we are talking about, all right? We're talking about murmuring, gossiping, all those things, all right? A sense of meaning transcends all that in such a way that even when you lose perishable things, you still hold on to that which gives you meaning. What are these perishable things? We've had men committing suicide because they were left by a girlfriend, all right? We've had men killing other men because they were betrayed by their wives, all right? If a man finds meaning, a cause to which they can live for, it transcends all that. I know in that, as you find meaning and you pursue it, like you people are pursuing your meaning, there is a conversation we've had about men finding what we call alternative realities, all right? And so, in your alternative reality, you're finding spaces away from your reality that sort of energize you, all right? Spaces where you can get you can be re-energized. And one of those spaces that has been working for men is to find a band of brothers, other men who share in your meaning, men who share in your journey, and you're able to they're able to help you to vent out.
Okay.
All right.
So if I hear you correctly, and I'm sorry to cut you short, find something that gives you life,
meaning.
Find a tribe, find a group,
find a band
share
of
the same
brothers.
things.
Yeah.
All right, Nelias, I want you to prepare an answer. Just one thing. What policies need to change to create spaces for men, to be safe and so on? But I want to throw this over here in a second. Let's start with you. I know you've wanted to speak. The next person should have the mic, please, real quick. I know you haven't spoken. Please grab a mic. Let's hear from you as quickly as you can, please. Your name and where you're from and your point.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Victor and my fellow colleagues here. My name is Grace Maina. I come from Nyandarua. I'm the treasurer of the Nyandarua County Tertiary Student Association.
Okay.
I'm an author and I'm a teacher of history and Swahili.
Okay.
And listening to you, I think we have spent so much on the police who are not doing a good job literally to the young people. And we have ignored that we have the young people. Before you talk about men, where did these men come from? They came from boys and these students. I have been a student leader. I was the vice president of Machakos University last year, but one. And I have seen and witnessed so many male students who've committed suicide out of petty things. We could say they are petty as the society. But I think it's a responsibility of all of us as a society, because looking at me, Victor, today I could be a sister of a brother. I could be a wife to a man. I am a daughter of a father. And I could probably be a mother to a son. So if we do not look at the background, where these boys are being brought up, who is bringing them up?
Okay.
Do we have men-oriented, platforms where these boys listen to men talk?
Okay.
Not ladies. We've seen Kina Murada, it's not bad. The women
Forums for men, for young men.
For men,
to learn. Okay.
oriented by men.
Okay.
Do we have them? Do we have men talk to men?
Good
Do
question.
we have fathers, fathering their boys? Or we have so many single mothers. And what are those solutions to those boys brought up by their moms and they are all over behaving like, the moms, the way they see moms. They have never seen a father figure, What are you telling them to be a man? When they become a man, already we are talking about the men who have problems and they already have children. Now, that's another problem.
Okay, all right.
So do we have programs of boys to be cultured by men?
That's a good point.
What are we doing to the society that is so you have to be a man?
Okay.
Look at the young man who was thrown out of a super metro.
Now, I wish I would have given you more time earlier, because you
Victor.
clearly are raising some really good points.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Allow me to move it. Somebody who hasn't spoken, the lady in purple. Gentlemen, please make your point. Quickly as you can.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
I'll be as quick as possible.
Yes.
First, I want to disagree and agree with the point that they made about the ego. I have to say that ego is not the problem, but we really have to look at the root cause of the problem. Where is this ego coming from?
Okay.
I think there's a place the society has put a man from the upbringing, because we are telling a boy not to cry, and then the boy is being raised to the point of not healing and not feeling, and if you can't feel, then you can't heal. So I think it's from that. Okay. And then I also want to talk about one of the solutions, which is breaking the stigma.
Yes.
How are we going to break the stigma? We recently saw suicide being decriminalized by the High Court. I think that is one point, because if we decriminalize this, we are trying to make it such that people are not going to feel that if I try doing suicide, then I'm going to be taken to the jail.
All right.
I think I'll stop it at that point.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Hi, could you? I'm sorry. My director is telling me we're out of time, but I'd like to give you an opportunity to make a point, please.
Women's
Hi,
University.
Yes.
I know we are here because of men, but allow me to say one thing about policemen, please, if you don't mind. No, it's just a point. I'm just adding because
10 seconds, please.
One thing I would like you you introduce new struggle of the way of electing the policemen. For example, when you are getting a loan, they must have a ground checkup, is it?
Okay.
So if this, you are saying because of men, maybe they are depressed. I think they should also be going to their ground checkup as they are electing the men in order to lead us.
Okay, that's a good innovation. That's an interesting thing. Thank you so much. Last but not least, please allow your sister in the back to say something. Please, we are out of time, please.
Okay, mine I will just give a solution.
Yes, please. 10 seconds, 10 seconds.
Okay, to the problem that we have. Having worked with young people, I think seeking counseling, it is very expensive. So I would like leaders to put at least a place where you can just walk in and for free seek for guidance and counseling, at least in everyone, because it is necessary. It is something that is underlatent, but it is corrupting everything. Families, institutions, and even government.
Thank you. Brilliant, brilliant idea. One last point, please. Your name and your point. 30 seconds, please.
Thank you. My name is Regina Njoroge from KC University.
Yes.
Mine is a question.
Yes, please. No, I'm afraid we might not be able to take any questions. We are out of time. But thank you. Do you support men?
Yes, I
Wonderful.
support that.
What policies need to change? Just in 10 seconds.
Yes, in 10 seconds. But you have said one, getting decentralizing mental health services to all counties. And then the other thing is mandating mental health services in workplaces, schools, in all places. The same way that there is a nursing station mandated in workplaces, that's the same way mental health services should be mandated.
To give it priority.
Yes, to be prioritized.
I cannot thank all of you enough. I know we may not have had enough time to delve into this subject. I apologize. Please, I'm sorry. We're out of time. I am sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Mr. Director, just give me 15 seconds. Your platform is called? Check on a Man. Okay, so if you need that service, Check on a Man is available. You can walk to the police headquarters and you'll be able to ask for the chaplaincy department. Kilimani Sub-County, thank you very much. Where can they find you? MP Shah Hospital, you can be able to get the services. Where can they find you?
St. Stephen's Cathedral, Jogoo Road.
St. Stephen's, Jogoo Road. Thank you very much. These guys are available to help. And if you cannot be able to reach them, find someone who can. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I believe this is a conversation that needs more time, but the conversation will continue at home in all the other platforms. My name is Victor. It's been an absolute pleasure. Allow me to wish you a good night full of God's blessings and another round of applause for the people in the studio. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.